From Studio 5 in New York City, this is the News at 6.
And welcome back as we look at tonight's feature story. All this week we're looking at life's most common problems with some good ideas for solutions. Let's face it, who doesn't feel a little anxiety from their job sometimes, right? It happens a lot. But there's more to it, like trying to get ahead, making the right moves, and staying current with the new technology. Here to help us with all of that, psychologist Dr. Michael Woodward. Good to see you, Dr. Woody.
Yeah, it's good to be here as always.
Yeah. Hey, you just came back from a big trip. This was the world's largest human resources conference. How many people were there?
Yeah, there were over 15,000. I think something like 15,500 and change, something like that. And
wow.
It's the annual Society for Human Resource Management Conference, also known as SHRM.
Right.
And it is the largest gathering of human resource professionals, practitioners, people from all over the world.
So you cover all kinds of subjects, common problems?
Everything to do with the people side. You know, that's my world, is the people side of business. And so these are the practitioners and professionals who really spend their time focused on that.
Well, that's so important. You learned a lot, and you came back with 3 important ideas for us to think about.
Yeah.
One of the things that you mentioned is where you stand with your boss, with the company, and that's a very important issue. Okay, what is it? How do we deal with that?
Yeah, you know, I hear this time and time again. It's the fact that when people don't know how they stand or how their performance is,
right, they
get nervous, they get confused, right? And the challenge we have is most bosses aren't good at coming and telling you what you're doing right and what you may need to change. They just kind of stay away from it. So in the absence of information, you don't know what to do, so it can be kind of paralyzing.
So what are you saying? Ask?
So yeah, right. If you have that boss that isn't willing to engage you, you need to engage them.
Okay.
So I always recommend to anybody, any employee out there, at least once a week, at the end of the week, check in with your boss. Not just ask how things are going, but be willing to invite criticism. Let them know, hey, tell me what's working and tell me what's not. What can I change? What can I tweak? But always look for a positive thing you can do.
That's good feedback. Forward. So you show that you're really interested in your job and you're trying to improve. That's a good way to go.
Yeah.
One of the other things, too, that I know you've mentioned, that's most people have a fear of automation.
Sure.
Okay, it's like, I'm going to be replaced by a robot. Okay?
Right.
Now, talk to me about that and how we handle it.
Yeah, fear of automation, I mean, it's a real thing. And part of what drives it is we see in so much pop culture, there's the talk about artificial intelligence and how that's somehow going to replace us. And what does it mean for humanity? You know, the fact is companies are getting more sophisticated, organizations, manufacturing, all across the board. So what I always tell folks is don't worry so much about your job being taken away. Think about the tasks. So I had a great opportunity to sit down at a round table with the IBM Smarter Workforce folks. And this really came up. And we thought about it more about, think of augmentation as opposed to automation.
Like how you can be part of that.
Right. So in other words, the machines still need to work for somebody, and it's got to be you. So you really need to think in terms of upskilling so that the things that take over your tasks still need to be overseen.
So you're suggesting what? We take courses, we learn more so that we can control all of that.
Yeah, the first thing is look at what is coming down the road.
Right.
Embrace the technology, understand it, then ask for opportunities to learn more about it, whether it's taking courses or any kind of training.
Very smart.
So that you can own it.
Good advice. Okay, the other thing is that we're always on call, no matter what. No, seriously, I mean, it's like the availability, right? We're always there.
Right.
Now, that's a problem for a lot of people, no matter what kind of work you do.
You know, let's be honest, most anything you can do in the office on a desktop or laptop, you can now do on these. And so you can also do it pretty much anytime, anywhere. And as we go into the holiday weekend, it's important to remember sometimes you just have to shut it off and put it down.
Yes, not easy to do,
It's not easy to do. But what we have to also remember is sometimes, and I deal with this with executives all the time, where they get on and they have an idea or a thought and they want to email you something.
Right.
They don't always expect you to respond right away, but we're tempted to because we feel obligated to. And the quality of that response may not be as good unless if you just took a step back.
So what do you do? Do you tell them, I'm going to have this off for a while, I'm not going to be available? Is that a good thing?
Yeah, 2 things. One is I think you need to have the conversation.
Right.
Because sometimes if you have a conversation, the boss may not realize that they're poking you all the time and expecting responses right away, and maybe they don't intend that. So that's the first thing. Then set clear boundaries. Say, hey, look, here's time I have that I'm going to spend with my kids, that I'm going to spend with my spouse. That's off the clock time, and so I'm actually going to have my phone off.
Okay, that's an honest conversation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, and I'm sure that they respect it because they probably feel the same way, although everybody kind of gets a little nervous. It's like, well, if I'm not available, you know,
right.
my job might be in jeopardy, but you're saying don't worry about that.
Well, you know, it's that FOMO, fear of missing out, right? Or I'm going to miss out and someone else will take it over for me. At the end of the day, this is it becomes a mobile leash, and it'll cause you stress, and it's going to make you not present in what you're doing. And so you're not going to be as rested and relaxed when you go back to the workplace.
Okay, so
it's
all
about
of this,
focus.
all of this comes down to basically communicating, right? Just telling people how it is, what you're doing, what you want to do, so that you have an open line of communication.
If there's one single reason I get called, it's because people aren't having conversations.
Right.
I mean, that's really what it all boils down to.
That's it. Doors closed, problems, doors open, solutions, right?
There you go.
Dr. Woody, good information. Thanks for joining us and being part of the solution.
Thank you.
All right, have a great weekend, too.